Hey guys, how you doing? It's Henry at Mowers and Mowers. Good morning. It's down to the nitty-gritty now. Out of all the snowblowers that I've ever had and still have, I'm gonna work on the final machine today. This is the only one that I have left that I haven't addressed in the past couple of years. It's been sitting in my shed for the past 2 years, and this is the one where it has mismatched tires. And when inflated, it kind of veers to the left a little bit because the tread pattern is different on one of them. Anyway, it's an 8 horsepower, 25 wide clearing path. It's an Atlas dual stage snowblower. Atlas, it could be a Brute. It has no stickers on it or anything like that, but it's a Brute, an Atlas, a Spirit, Artisan, Noma, but it's made by Murray. It goes by a lot of crazy names, you know. I've had a couple of these, and you can tell by what brand it is, by the shape the bucket is, and also the black sides with the number 825 on it, or 524, or whatever it is, you know. But just the way it's shaped, the way it's designed over here on the top with the contoured slope with the handle and all that, it's a Murray, made by Murray. But it goes mostly by Brute, Noma, or Atlas. Anyway, from what I remember 2 years ago, it runs just fine. I don't remember if I drained the gas out of it when I stored it 2 years ago, because at that time I had like 15 snowblowers, and it was just, I had to hurry up and move it around, so I wasn't sure whether or not I drained all the gas out of all of them, whatever. But so far, from bringing all the snowblowers out of my shed to get them started, they're all pretty good. You know what I mean? I have the Toro Snow Commander left, the Craftsman Push 522, the push one with the power propel in the front, the dual stage but not self-propelled, and it has electric start. I have the Craftsman 522 left. I have the red Craftsman 5.5 24 that Raul gave me, the one with the low compression, which I grinded down the valves and now it works. I have the Yardman 8.5 26 that I'm still working on the auger system, waiting for parts. I've got my big beast, right? And got an electric snowblower coming soon on a review soon. But what am I missing to do a review on it? That's right, snow! You can't review a snowblower if you don't have snow to review it with, right? So it's been, I've had it for a couple of weeks now. I did an unboxing review already, but I can't release it until I have snow. Gotta try it out, right? Anyway, today I'm gonna see if this thing starts up. Pump up the tires and see if we can get this listed for sale. As for this thing, I've tried thinking about putting 2 engines on here, but being that the stock engine on this was designed for the Briggs 8 horsepower, it doesn't fit the Tecumseh ones, especially with the crankshaft being 7/8 or 1 inch. The Briggs one was 3/4. So I think the only engine that would fit on here would be that same engine or another horizontal engine with a 3/4 shaft. I think that Predator one does, but I'm not going to spend $100 on a new Predator engine and sell this for $250. Doesn't make any difference. I think a local guy, one of my subscribers, may want to buy this. So we'll see what happens on this one. So here it is. I've got the Atlas in front of my garage, and now we're just gonna check out some of the fluids. Again, this is pulled out of my shed from the past couple of years. Good oil, clear, clean. I think I might have done an oil change on it prior to my storing it for the winter. Let's hope there's no gas in here. It is bone dry. Good news. Engine is not locked up. Feels good. May need a little bit of Earl on the recoil starter. Good compression. Has no electric start. Like I said, this is an 8 horsepower. has a fuel shutoff. I forget if this is on or off. Okay, now it's open because I can blow. When you do this, you can't blow, and it was like that, which means that there should be no gas in the carburetor, which is good news. Put some gassage in here. Not a lot, just a little. God knows how long it's going to take before I sell this thing. With no snow, nobody's going to buy any snowblowers, right? Doesn't make any sense. I'm using some Toolbox Buddy, which is the same thing as WD-40, only Lucas Oil brand. They actually discontinued this product because it didn't sell so well. I think it has something to do with the name. Toolbox Buddy is a little soft, you know what I mean? But I think it works great, and I wish that they would continue, but that's a little above my pay grade, huh? What's my pay grade? That's right, nothing! I don't have a job, I'm retired. I don't have a salary. I depend on donations and support, sticker sales from you guys. That's what keeps the video going every day. For now. Trying to prime it, it doesn't seem like there's any fluid moving. I don't feel any kind of resistance or pressure. Smell a little bit of gas, hopefully that works. Let's give it a couple of pulls and see what happens. here, it surges a bit, and there's not that much power, to be honest with you. So I think I might have to take apart this carburetor and check it out, you know. Also check out the linkages. The throttle linkages need adjustment. So I'm gonna have to take this heater box off and check out the situation of the carburetor. This tire's always gave me problems. It's always had a slow leak. So I'm just gonna put a little bit of ATF in here. automatic transmission fluid for those of you who have been living in a cave or something for the past couple of years and not know what ATF is. It's not alcohol, tobacco, and firearms. It's automatic transmission fluid. That's right. That fluid swells rubber. So if you have a slow leak in your tires, the ATF will coat the inner part of your tire as you're rotating it and pushing it around, whatever. And it, if you have a very slow pinhole leak or something like that, it swells the rubber for as long as there's fluid in here, and it'll seal that slow leak. And then you wouldn't have to go through the trouble of putting a tube in here or getting a new tire, because you're not using this for the highway use. You're just pushing it around to blow snow. It'll be fine. It's just oil, pretty much. Mineral oil, actually. So we're going to pump this up and see if it holds air. I'm going to do the other side too. I just took a look at the other tire on the other side. Hard as a rock. And if it's been hard as a rock for 2 years, that tire's good. I wanted to mention something about my fellow friend and wrencher and YouTuber, John Pruss, over at Turning Wrenches 85. Recently, he did a video stating that he was in a little bit of a pickle. He's been living at a house for the past 11 years, and the owner decided that he wanted to go in a different direction, such as selling the house to a new owner, which doesn't want any tenants. So John is in the middle of trying to relocate his family in Madison, Tennessee, where he works. So if any of you guys are from the Madison, Tennessee or the surrounding areas, right, and you know of a house for rent, please let me know. I'd love to help out my buddy John. He won't be doing any wrenching in the near future because he's got to tend to some more life problems in his family situation right now. And so we're all here for you, John, you know, and the small engine nation community. If we can help out a buddy of mine, John Pruss over at Turning Wrenches, go to his Instagram and go check him out. It's Turning Wrenches 85. Help him out if you can, okay? He's a good guy. So now we're going to take off the heater box on the 8 or higher horsepower ones. You can tell because the muffler is in the middle. On the 5 horsepower Tecumseh engines, the muffler goes out like this in a right angle, more over to the left. That's how you know. The heater box is used to encase the carburetor from water, of course. Most snowblowers, or all snowblowers, do not have air filters because there's really no dust that would kick up that would suck into the carburetor, because it's meant to blow snow, right? So you're not blowing dust or dirt. There's a 3/8 bolt here that holds the left side of the heater box on, and that's a pain to get to because the directional snow chute is in the way, so you have to use a ratchet. You can't use any impact wrenches. Pretty long bolt too, and it's a 5/16 screw over here, which I just lost in there somewhere. You can get a couple of Phillips screws to loosen it from the carburetor bracket. Also, from the heat of the muffler, it expands the heat to the heater box and keeps it warm inside and not freezing. And apparently there is another 5/16 on that side. and it looks like it's very cramped. Don't think I could get it to move unless I move this. Maybe. But it's easy to strip because you're not in a good spot. You get a good spot, then it'll fit. It'll work. Got to remove this knob. Just pops right out. Come on, man. There we go. There we go, yo. There we go, yo. So what's a scenario? It's okay. I'm all right. I want to disconnect that thing from the wire, the kill wire to the apparatus. There's the heater box. And here be the carburetor. So looking at the primer hose, right? You'll look right there. There's a little bit of wear there. Perhaps I need to change it because it wasn't priming very well. It did eventually prime, but it's a worn hose. I think I might have to replace it because it's just like wilted. See? Just pull it right off. This is an aftermarket carburetor, and it's got a fixed jet over here. I'm thinking about just doing a quick and dirty, and since we have the bowl off, we can just try and see if we can do a quick and dirty, because I have access to the fixed pilot nut over here. We're going to blow that out. I'm going to blow fluid into the primer area. We're going to remove the bowl, check out the situation under the bowl. So I just put the fuel shutoff on, right, and it leaks a little, and it happens a lot to these cheap Chinese fuel shutoff switches, is that when you leave them for a while, they wear out eventually from the gas being stored for so long. So I might have to change that. Anyway, so I've got that blocked off. We're just using a half-inch wrench, and I'm just feeling for it because I can't see it. And that feels like I just stripped it. I really should use a socket because it goes on there better than this, especially when you can't see it. I know that I'm not gripping it right, so I might have to get a socket. Oh, that feels pretty good. No, I better go get a socket. Okay, I got a socket, fits on there better, and it moves. And fuel is going to pour out of that bowl. There's the nut. You're a nut. And in it is a lot of black sediment. Not a lot, but a good amount. Enough to block the holes when they get sucked up the emulsion tube. You know what I mean? So that's from the fuel line, the gas line. So the gas line's probably kind of old. All the time that it's been sitting in there, but the bowl is pretty clean with the exception of the sediment. So I think a quick and dirty would do just fine. Gasket feels good, although it is the oversized one. It feels bigger than the normal stock Tecumseh one, you know. I'm gonna remove this pilot jet, the fixed jet, and check out the situation with that. Here's the bowl jet nut, and it is clear, although it is kind of dirty. There's a small tiny hole above that hole that's at a slant downwards, and that is clear too, but it looks like it has some black rubber particles in there. Particles is a good word, but you can see there's a small hole right there, and it goes downwards at an angle. See? So this is dirty, you know, and a little bit of sediment will clog up the jets. I'm going to spray this with parts cleaner and degreaser from my friends over at Lucas Oil Products. GoPro, stop recording. I'm going to remove this, I guess it's the low speed jet or the fixed pilot jet. Donnie Boy 73 says that surging is caused by this pilot jet being blocked. It's not blocked, but it is kind of varnishy. You can see the hole clearly. I'm going to blow stuff in here. Try to get it in the mouth of the carburetor, in the mouth of the hole, not mouth of me. There we go. Plenty of stuff came out. Blew that and it's clear, and we'll just replace that pilot jet back in here again. And it's fixed, so you just turn it until it doesn't turn anymore. This is the primer output, or input if you want. So you saw in the beginning when I was doing that, it kind of didn't want to go in. Now I think we just blew it out a little bit, so it should be all right. I'm just blowing up the emulsion tube right now, if I can find it.
Henry, you're making a mess.
Yeah, sometimes you just gotta make a mess. Before, when I was turning this choke knob for the first time, it was very stiff. I had to kind of break it, you know what I mean? Not break it, but turn it hard so that it broke its stickiness. So there's obviously some varnish or something right around the joint area here, the pivot, the turning area. So now that we have this open, I'm just going to blow degreaser, pretty much carb spray, into the mouth. So we'd loosen up any varnish that might have built up in the past 2 years of storage. And do the primer again. Here's that jet bowl nut using a wired brush just to clean out the varnish over here and the yuckiness. I don't know if that's doing anything. But any little particles or something like that that break off from this, it's going to get stuck in the bowl and then go up the emulsion tube, right? And on the emulsion tube, there are like little tiny pinholes. If any of those get blocked up, it's going to contribute to surging. Also, setting the throttle properly with the RPMs makes a difference between it surging or not. Sometimes this little screw right here, you can adjust the RPMs, because that pushes the governor linkage to where it's supposed to be. So you can mess with that a little bit too. This carburetor is a copied Chinese one. You can get it for like 10, 15 bucks, whatever, on Amazon or eBay. And most of them nowadays are non-adjustable. There used to be an older one where this bowl nut was actually had a had a fuel mixture screw on it. I actually like those better because you can actually adjust it pretty well to, if it was surging, you could kind of adjust the fuel mixture so that it runs perfectly. I don't really like these new ones because if the holes in the jets aren't drilled right, you're gonna surge no matter what happens. So look at that, huh? This is a lot cleaner now. Put the gasket back on here. This is also a copied gasket. See, it's almost like plastic, not rubber. So I'm gonna put this all together again. So I just tried starting it, and it started, but it still surges. And I even tried adjusting this screw over here. Didn't make any difference, it still surges. So I could either take this carburetor off and clean it thoroughly, or try a different carburetor. I'll show you. Choke. And it won't go down to idle and stay running, see? So the carburetor is definitely still dirty. I'm gonna put the fuel shutoff on, and I'm gonna remove that carburetor. And since I might think about replacing it, I have this other one, see? It's the same one as that one. Now the 8 horsepower ones, the fuel nozzle sticks straight out. The 5 horsepower ones is right angle curves that way, because the 5 horsepower ones is actually like that. Faces that way. Or maybe it still faces this way, but it still has a curved fuel nozzle. So this is the exact replacement to that. I think this works well. It's used, of course, but I think this is original because it says Tecumseh on it, you know? So this is an original. Or I could try taking that off and just cleaning that thoroughly, but I'm inclined to try this one instead, you know what I mean? Being that this is original and all. So I'm going to remove this carburetor from these screws here. Normally I would take it off of the intake manifold because it's easier, right? But since we're replacing the carburetor, I have to take these bolts off anyway. So I'm just going to do that in time lapse. fiddling with the throttle screw. Carburetor, the original Tecumseh carburetor, works great. Doesn't surge anymore. And we can take it down to idle without it stalling. So you know that pilot jet. This fixed screw over here, I'm just going to do it on this one. I think that's what I missed, because I just did that on that one, right? That one had a little black plastic cover on it. Just remove the cover and remove the fixed pilot jet, right? I want to show you something real quick. So while there is a hole there and it was clear, right? I forgot to clean this hole here. And when I tried to do it on that one, right? It was clogged. It had like old varnish stuff in it, and I couldn't even get this pin through there. So let's see if this one goes through. This one you can't go through, see? So this one was blocked, and that's it. That's the key, is that this hole here needs to be clear. This is the one that I missed. See, there's some stuff in there. It's such a small hole. You could barely get this twisty tie in there. So now it's through there. See, that was the problem. It wasn't really the carburetor. It was this jet. See, look, I've got these torch tip cleaners. Even the smallest one won't fit. The hole is too small. It won't fit. So you have to have a bread bag twisty tie. Shear the plastic coating off of it and shove it in there, because it's so tiny that it will barely fit. So that was the problem, and I didn't figure it out until I already replaced that Tecumseh carburetor on there. But that's fine, you know, as long as it's running right, I don't care. But that's really the issue. So I'm just gonna put all this stuff back again, and then we're good to go. We've got ATF in these tires. We've got the carburetor fixed up, and no more surging. And that was the ticket right here. It's this fixed pilot jet. The little tiny hole on the very top has to be clear. Otherwise, it's no good. You're gonna find surging. So it's okay. We'll keep this carburetor for another application. Mailbag. I got this from my friend Charles Cribbs. He's a subscriber, and he texts me on Facebook Marketplace Messenger. Asked me some questions, help him fix his stuff. So I guess as a thank you, he's sending me something. Ooh, cool. Quarter-inch impact Torx bits. Very, very useful. That is awesome. I don't know how many times I've needed this, you know, in repairs and stuff. So thank you very much, Charles. I appreciate you supporting the channel, man. Thanks a lot. So there we go. Put everything back. purrs like a kitten. All we had to do is just clean the carburetor. That didn't work. Replaced the carburetor with a original Tecumseh carburetor, and realized that the pilot jet fixed nut in there, the top hole, tiny little pinhole on the very top of the pilot jet, that was clogged in both carburetors. So we cleaned both of them. Now it runs like a kitten. Pumped up the tires with some ATF. Now hopefully it won't have any slow leaks. And this thing's ready for sale. Or at least to try in the next snow that we get, which is definitely what I wanted. That's it. I don't have any more snowblowers other than the Yardman 8.5 that we're waiting for the parts to come so I can fix the auger and impeller shaft. And then that would be it. You guys have seen every snowblower that I've had. This is the last one that was in storage from 2 years. So I've got 3, 4, 5 snowblowers left. Pretty good. I had 13 or 15 at the beginning of the season. So I've sold about a few, 5 or 6, which is good. I wanted to get rid of them. 8 horsepower, nothing to sneeze at. But this is my carburetor surging fix on my Brute, Spirit, Atlas, Noma, Murray, Artisan, whatever you want to call it. That's this one right here. 825. Decent dual stage snowblower. Self-propelled, and it works just great. Thanks a lot for joining me on today's surging issue. We'll see you guys next time on Mowers and Blowers.
And we'll see you next time on Mowers and Blowers.
Hey, if you guys enjoyed the video, remember to give me a like. Also, comment below. Subscribe. Remember, it doesn't cost anything to subscribe. It's free, right? Also, hit that little bell. That way you'll get post notifications whenever there's a new video, and you won't miss out on any of them. Remember to follow my Instagram and Facebook, as well as, if you'd like to donate $1 or $2, paypal.me/mowersandblowers. Really appreciate all the support. Also, to keep the videos coming every day, support the channel. Bye.